as in the shrinking violet type sensitive, but sensitive as in you can feel and sense a lot more as you start to get deeper and deeper into it. But yeah, each individual chakra has its own powerful point. So if you think about, for instance, the elements, fire has an element, but it has different elements to it. Fire can be a simmering, or it can be like the white flame, or it can be almost invisible flame. Has different textures to it. Same as water. When water boils, it starts to steam and then it becomes vapor. We have this different energy inside of us as well. That really, if we look at it in that way, we start to understand what we really are. We're just receivers and transmitters of information. That's what we are. And that's why when we receive good frequencies, good sound into our body, it tends to heal what's come out of balance or out of kilter. And let's face it, Brew, most people are feeling a little bit out of balance in the world today because it's a bit topsy-turvy. And there's a very good reason for that. And there's a spiritual reason for that as well. But sound helps you to become more connected with your energy body, definitely.
I see. Gosh, this is interesting, and that's extremely interesting. Like, isn't there a whole therapy called sound therapy?
Yes, yes.
What
You
that
use
means?
sound therapy is exactly what I'm talking about. You're starting to find parts of the body that are out of tune or out of frequency, out
Okay.
of kilter. And what you're doing, you're using sound to bring your body back into balance. And it works. You try sound toning, and anybody who's gone through like a seven chakra vocal toning that I've ever led, you see them at the end of it, go, oh, there you are, there you are as the human being, there you are, and you see them, they're all relaxed, they're chilled, they smile easily, they're laughing a lot more. There's no stress on them. It's because they cleanse this energy body. And so sound therapy is getting deeper and deeper and deeper into yourself, but you have to do it repetitively. Unfortunately, with all of this stuff, people do it as like a one-off thing. They might go to a gong bath or a vocal toning session. They think, "Oh yeah, that was lovely," and then they drift off into everyday life again, rather than thinking, actually, if you carry on doing this, this experience gets deeper and deeper, and you start to heal yourself, which is why it's called sound therapy. You're starting to heal the energies inside of your body.
Okay, so it can be done through vocal tuning, as you said.
Vocal tuning, yep,
Tuning forks. What
tuning forks,
what else can be done?
binaural beats.
Okay.
They've got to be recorded properly though. A lot of people just think it's putting two different beats into each headphone, but it's got to be recorded properly. But to me, it really has to be. It should really be natural sounds. I have used binaural beats, and I do use binaural beats in recordings that I do sell. But really, it wants to be your sound. Therefore, you don't become sort of having to go to something else each time you want to heal yourself. So just a simple om sound, which is what our ancestors used, which is what they call the sound of the universe. Simple om sound, just toning on that can really help. Just get your vibration back into your a good resonance. For instance, when I do chanting and toning in the mornings, I can feel all the way down to my toe tips and my fingertips and even the top of my head. I can feel my whole body is vibrating, and that's just sending good energy through the body by using my voice. And that's really what I want people to start to take responsibility for their health so that they can do it for themselves rather than having to come to a tape or a recording every time. Even though I do use them, we do use solfeggio tones, which are again another form of sound healing, an ancient tone found by the Dominican monks, I believe, that they used to chant Gregorian chants using the solfeggio tones, which are an ancient scaling system that also helps to vibrate certain energies of the body. We use them at night, or we have them on in the background when we go to sleep at night, and it's really, you just drift off into this beautiful sleep.
Got it.
So yeah,
So yeah, because I think at the end of the day, all those methods that you mentioned, they are sounds, they're vibrations.
yes,
Okay, so so basically, you can do it with anything as long as you have the right vibrations, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes. But also, I feel the most important thing is your intention. You
Mm.
know, when we say, "Oh yeah, all right, I'm going to do that," yeah, yeah. You go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course you are. Yeah, yeah." Now you say, "I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that." That's your intention, yeah. So
Mm.
when you use that intention, that powerful intention, and use any tone to heal anything, you can do that. But you have to have the intention, not the yeah, yeah, all good, all well, all good. It's got to be really strong. And we kind of because we live in such an amazing society in some ways that really a lot of people have got a heck of a lot more than what our ancestors had, say, 50, 100 years ago, even though it's starting to decay at the bottom of it. We still have the position and place to be where we can actually start to work on ourselves more deeply in a little bit more comfortable place. And I feel this is what we need to be doing, is to start to look at ourselves and start to work out, well, what do I need to do for myself? And sound is a brilliant way of doing that. With qigong as well, I love practicing qigong as well, which is like an energy form of meditation. Energy, qi means energy, gong means utilizing well. So yeah, yeah, we I think we need to start to look at ourselves a little bit more. It doesn't matter whether you can sing or not either. It's got nothing to do with it. Humming. They've done scientific research now on into humming, where humming, even to the point where they had SARS-CoV-2, the part Omicron sits apparently in your upper sinus, and they say when you hum, you produce nitric oxide, which destroys the Omicron virus in your sinuses. So it's got that powerful vibration. I use a tuning fork in my qigong class for the elderly. I take around when somebody's got aching thumbs or aching arthritis, and I use a 128 hertz frequency, which is a very healing frequency. I did it to the manager of the place one time, and they think I'm some kind of witch doctor because I go and use this tuning fork, and I go, "Wow, my thumb's okay now. My thumb's okay." And I remember the sister-in-law came over to us, and I took her into the healing room and used the 128 hertz on her back because she'd had issues with her back for many years. And she stood up and she went, "Oh my goodness, it's gone." And it never came back. So it was just a little vibration that you put into the spine. I'm not saying that will work with everybody, but with the few instances that I have had, it has worked. Some people it doesn't work with. And also, they can block you because they're so connected to the material world. They go, "Oh, I can't deal with any of this energy stuff." So people can block you. But if you start to use your intention to say, "This is going to work for me," almost like the placebo effect when you take a medicine and you believe it's going to work for you, it will. It works for you, and it's such an enormous subject. And I personally feel sound healing will be the next medicine of the future. It will be the biggest thing coming through because of how powerful it is. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, the intention is a great point. I mean, I was thinking to myself while you were speaking. Yeah, like without intention, most things just won't work. Imagine you are in a relationship, right? With a great partner. If your intention is not there, if you're just swinging it, if you're not taking it seriously, at some point it will fall apart. Or same thing with a job. You might
yeah,
have the best job in the world, but if you're just not taking it serious, you don't have the right intention, like they're gonna fire you at some point. So the intention is a very good point. Like it needs to be there. I know from a buddy of mine, he's a therapist, and he said, Bruno, it doesn't matter who comes through the door. If they don't have the intention to get better, they can come for years. They will never get better because
yeah,
they just don't want you truly, So
yeah.
that was a good point. If you don't mind me asking, I have a question about chakras. So you just mentioned that you helped someone with their hands, with their thumb, to get better through sound therapy. So sound healing and sound therapy is not necessarily only about aligning your chakras, but to to
Whole body. It's the whole body.
it's the whole body. So
Yeah,
what would say are the limits of sound healing?
that's a brilliant question. I don't think there is one. I just don't think we've looked into it deep enough. If you look at Dr. Rife. Dr. Rife.